A lot of things that need tending to. Priority be the long-term revenue. And whatever you do, I hope you getting through. And you get it too. As we speak. Raise a glass to the times it aligns for you. The universe, stars, and all that defines the truth. Because that's all me and my kind will do. You're invited to, and we'll light a few. I gotta get the bag. Not expecting another living soul on earth to grant that. Different posts, same hashtags. Industry ran on bots, but you asking me where my stats at. Cam hit the plug, we picking up an ounce. Mud on my kicks like nigga fuck your couch. Women on my dick cause it ain't tucked in the blouse. Value the time over the money, when I get it I'm out. I really don't try to be difficult, but it's prom night, little bit, give it up. I bet my bottom dollar somewhere out there right now on this can of sucker switching up. As we speak. Got a lot of things that need tending to. Priority be the long-term revenue. And whatever you do, I hope you getting through. And you get it too. As we speak. Raise a glass to the times it aligns for you. The universe, stars, and all that defines the truth. Because that's all me and my kind will do. You're invited to, and we'll light a few. Take care of what you do and what you say. Not knowing who knows who can have a few sent your way. Low energy life forms wanna borrow mine. When I lend that, I demand the ROI. Just saying, it's the game before. Yes, sir. Worry observations, righteous discussions. Welcome to the Word Up Podcast. I am your host, Omni, etc. As always, here to get into it with you over the truth. For we are in search of the truth. And tonight's topic, I really didn't want to bring this brother up again. Let me say this. I want to say I take no pleasure in this. But in revealing truths and fact finding. But before I get into that, I made a promise and I must keep to my word. I have a correction to make on the last presentation. Okay, let me turn this up a little bit. All right, there we go. Gotta get my lighting right. Again, building the plane as we're flying it. But I have to bring up this correction. Salute to Strategy King. All right. He got with me in the comments section, and this is a discussion. Okay? The platform is Wary Observations and Righteous Discussions to unite people. So this brother got with me in the comments section. All right, Bloomberg, 10 billion. I love when you start off with the qualifiers, okay? The qualifiers, all right? Bloomberg, a $10 billion company. I didn't know. I didn't care about either Forbes or Bloomberg enough to know how much money either company was making. So, but since we are talking money and the particular subject at hand with Kanye West was of financial in nature, I love how Strategy King hit me with the qualifiers first. So that took me aback, but I love what he did there to set up his argument. Bloomberg, $10 billion company, reported that UBS, $54 billion financial company, valued Kanye West at $6.6 billion. Forbes, the $4 million company, is overruled. I can see that, but I still decided to spar with the brother And the reason why is because most of the sources that I'd receive, let me take that up. Most of the sources that I received were all citing Forbes. I wasn't hearing that much about Bloomberg. Now, also when it came to Forbes, as I stopped following Kanye West closely, like Dark Twisted Fantasy was cool, but really late registration was like the pinnacle Yeezy for me. So I stopped following him shortly thereafter. Like my interest in things that he did kind of teetered off. You know what I'm saying? But he did do that monster track with Nicki Minaj, and I thought that was like the dopest thing I ever heard a female MC do at the time. Um, that's neither here nor there. But the brother got with me in the comments, and everything that I was citing. I cited Forbes because everything that came across my desk, information is thrown at us nowadays, so we just have to be catching it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, on our devices. So everything that was thrown at me was citing Forbes. All right, I didn't look at Bloomberg, and I should have looked at Bloomberg because Bloomberg went into greater detail and was far more extensive in their research. So I actually went ahead and got the subscription to Bloomberg so I could be up on my financial game. Um, I thought Forbes was the because every time I hear anything about celebrities and money, it's always been Forbes. I've rarely heard Bloomberg being brought up amongst the other publications. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying. My intentions and interests are adjusting, and I'm deeply concerned about the truth and how I can apply it to myself, as you should be concerned about the truth and how you can grow from knowing the truth and using logic and acting accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So, salute to you. Again, I'm going to pull it up one more time. That is Strategy King. The name suggests that he's going to be a content creator on YouTube, or, you know what I'm saying, he's just setting up his network, his infrastructure, and he's going to be someone that produces content. That's what the name suggests. If that's the case, please feel free to subscribe to him to see what he comes up with when he comes up with it. I look forward to it. Anyway, what I want to talk about, well, not so much want to talk about tonight, but what I'm going to talk about and what we need to talk about. Last night's show, was it last night? I can't remember. I'm always working. But last night's, the last show that I did, the last Word Up podcast, I was warning against the dangers of copy paste, because what I found to be the initial serious problem with Derrick Jaxn and a lot of content creators that gain notoriety is that they develop, like their fan bases develop in an echo chamber. So all you hear is them. You know what I'm saying? It gets to a point where all you hear is them. And now I'm in the red pill echo chamber and I'm trying to break out of that. You know what I'm saying? But the content resonates so much with me that I feel it's extremely beneficial for my growth and development into becoming a better man at this stage. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm very aware. I'm aware that I'm in an echo chamber, and when I say an echo chamber, I mean a digital echo chamber. Not I'm seeking out the information, but how the trackers and whatnot, and how Google and a lot of sites that advertise to you, and how YouTube works in the recommendations. You know what I'm saying? You check out a few pieces of certain content to understand a certain topic, and then boom, all of a sudden you're getting flooded with that information. So as long as you stay wary about what's going on with that situation, you'll be of mind to break out of it. But if you're not wary of what's going on and you're just indulging in information that resonates with you or that is palatable to you, then you won't be able to grow. Because again, the search of objective truth, you must be willing to look at information that goes against your core beliefs. You must be willing to look at information that goes against core beliefs after the observation of said information. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to break it up, dissect it, and digest it, and see if it goes with the program that you're building for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, would be the goal. So, and bam, that was bars. I just had to do that one time. But, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to talk about this brother again. It doesn't really please me, but I feel it's necessary to talk about the problem with Derrick Jaxn. Okay, the problem with Derrick Jaxn. This brother right here. I said this to someone. What I had last night was a discussion. And I should have recorded that discussion that I had in the Discord server with a couple of entrepreneurs, one male, one female. What what's the problem with Derrick Jaxn is that people aren't really seeing him for the the predator that he is. Like I really feel like bros like Jared from Subway before he had the child scandal. I'm not gonna say the whole thing because that's gonna get me flagged on YouTube. But way before that, and even before he was slinging sandwiches, he was just a fat kid at college who didn't have access and couldn't manipulate certain systems to his benefit and position himself in a certain way. But him being the spokesperson, becoming the spokesperson for Subway, he was able to get a nonprofit that catered towards assisting children. I forget exactly what the detail, like what specific niches nonprofits serve, but children were involved. And touchy-feely Jared Fogle had certain content and certain materials on his computers and his nonprofit that were disgusting to say the least and involved children. I think you know what P word I'm trying to, okay, chomo. I don't think YouTube's caught on to jail slang yet. So chomo, all right, and yeah, he was a chomo. All right, so he positioned himself. You know what I'm saying? After so many deals with Subway and so many sponsorships and so long of being the 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 spokesman for the company, he eventually got his money together and made an entire organization, a nonprofit organization, so that his chomo ass can interact with children. So let me bring back Derrick Jaxn. He's made himself into everything that black women specifically want. He's sold black women specifically the dream of the perfect man. I mean, he's athletic. Of course, he works out. You know what I'm saying? Bodybuilder build. He's a bit of a model physique. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the dedication. And you know what I'm saying? Tall black man, deep voice, nice smile, and seems friendly. Seems like a nice guy, right? And he says a lot of things. He made a lot of videos condemning cheaters and cheating habits and whatnot. He said a lot of things. But he still participated in the activity. Now, what the problem is that he's perpetuated this idea of what a perfect man, like he can't, anybody that's preaching, and let me again say, because I believe I said it on the last cast, and I'm gonna say this in third person because he was talking in third person. We're gonna get to that. Omni is not a perfect individual. I'm just trying to figure shit out like the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? Like the rest of everybody else. So I built this entire platform so I can interact with individuals via during the show, or you know what I'm saying, we can catch you on the rewatch like Strategy King did, just to interact, to throw up, basically to throw up topics and see what how everybody thinks about it, to gain different perspectives and to formulate my own opinion and throw it out there. It's a giant discussion board that I'm creating, and just to pick through, you know what I'm saying, until we all together find truth. Wary observations, righteous discussions unite people. You know what I'm saying? The name's colder than I thought it was when I came up with the acronym. But in the case of Derrick Jaxn, the problem with Derrick Jaxn is that in perpetuating a perfect man, and if you look at some of his older content, a lot of it is contradictory to itself. Like he had, and even Abba and Preach, they have a video up where they say I'm not going to argue with Derrick Jaxn. So they just throw up one clip of him saying something, and then another one saying the reverse of that, getting him to argue with himself. It was hysterical. All right. So, and shout out to Abba and Preach. I enjoy their content. But Derrick is perpetuating and playing off of the fantasies that black women have. And when he got power, influence, and access, you know what I'm saying, abundance, he started doing what most men do when they reach abundance. That's what most men do. Keyword most. It's not for everybody, but most men seem to do it. We have enough. I have enough evidence to say that. Your Bill Cosby's, your, and I'm not saying that they went about it in like the most healthiest ways, but you know what I'm saying, your R. Kelly's, your just a lot of predatory behavior from individuals. Like I said, Jared Fogley, that was with children. However, the positioning and the way that they position. One sister said that he was trying, the way that he got her involved and caught up was one-on-one counseling for her and her man. Well, I don't think it was counseling. I retract that. But it was a one-on-one session about a situation that she was having. I don't know if she actually had a man at the time, but she, let me take all my hair down because it's looking weird, but I had to keep the bun up well, it's not really a bun, but it was like a tucked away tail because I didn't want to hit what's behind me. But when I had the ponytail, so I had the tail tucked in, but you can do it like this. The problem with what he was doing is that it's just a similar pattern. Men tend to, when they get power and influence, and abundance of resources, they tend to squander it on, you know, yoni. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I believe men are truly polygynous. And we're going to watch this video of him speaking in the third person. This is how you know stuff is like really bad. And there was a few more videos that I wanted to get into, but he deleted them. So we're gonna watch this one that he thought he got away with deleting, but as soon as, you know, the internet's the internet, as soon as they catch you starting to delete shit, they start saving it. So we're gonna get into this video where he refers to himself in the third person a whole lot. Like, I've had a lot of bad days. Never a whole day where I wanted to be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, no. Still want to be me at the end of the day. So, let's get into it. Whew, this is going to be rough. This is going to be rough. But we're going to get through this together. This is some shit.
Today I am joined by my lovely wife, Derrick, and we just wanted to address a couple of things. You know, we understand that some of you may have already heard, maybe not, that this chapter of our marriage is one that was preceded by a marriage that I completely failed. And I would say it just started around August, maybe September of last year. But, you know, a lot has been said already about what was the cause and all that other stuff. Some of it is true, some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it here now, is that Derrick Jaxn was involved with other women outside the marriage. So the same way that I preach, you know, men and women in this situation need to face consequences of their actions, deserve to be held accountable. Guess what? Derrick Jaxn's no exemption. He's not exempt from that. I'm also not a victim. Nobody made me do this. She didn't make me or push me to do it. The next person didn't make me. No friend influenced me. It don't matter how I was raised and what trauma, whatever. Look, I made decisions. I made a series of decisions that I got to account for. There's no excuse or justification. I've already made that bed and have had to lie in it. And now we're finally getting on to the other side personally in our own healing and our own marital oneness. And now this is being made public to you guys. So we're bringing that forth to you guys to let you know where we're at with that. But did you want to say anything?
Yes, so I do want to just add that I agree with what he just said. There is no justification for bringing other women into our marriage on any level. When I found out about it, I left. I did not hesitate or waste time to do so. And I stayed gone. No matter how many times he came, I stayed gone and stood firm on, I am not coming back. And I did not come back until I seen a shift and a change in his mentality. So there's nothing out there right now that is information that I don't already know about or haven't known about. And so this is not something that is new. We have moved forward from it. We have gotten counsel for it and continue to do so. He is still continuing to pursue God and continuing to seek guidance and wise counsel from men of God. So today, where I'm at is at peace, and I proudly stand by his side, and I have no chapter in this story. We are continuing to move forward, and we are just now sharing that with you. I forgave him, and most importantly, God has first forgiven him, and I also forgive the others as well. And with that, we are free and moving forward. So that's all I have.
If you get nothing else from what I've ever said over the last 9 years or right here in this video, please get this. Nothing is right until it is right with God. Nothing works until it comes into alignment with biblical standard of how God told us to do things, especially when we're talking about a marital, spiritual covenant. Yes. You know, you cannot do this by your own understanding, your own intelligence, your own willpower, your own values. You have to have the grace of God to break free from certain things, to stay away from certain things, to not operate from your lowest self, whatever it may be.
So, when I looked in the comments of this video,
I don't know if old boy was trolling or not, but he said, D, I think I want to see a reaction to this video. So let's do it. And by the way, I'm gonna speak in third person. A lot of you already seen this, but this is Derrick Jaxn. A lot of people think of him as a relationship expert and guru and all of that. Well, he and his wife are making this video because apparently at some point in their marriage, or maybe even beforehand in the relationship, he didn't take his own advice and he stepped out and he got involved with other women, as you heard them say. Now, upon first impression, nothing really stuck out to me about him, but more so about the wife. Like, I heard her say that she stands with her husband, she's proud to love him. I heard her say that, you know, this is some time ago, they've already processed this, overcame this, dealt with this a long time ago, and nothing's really new to her. But just by her body language, I was really wondering, like, did he force her to do this video? Like, she looks super uncomfortable, like she doesn't want to be there. But then I watched their live chat that they did right afterwards, and, you know, I kind of caught that this is just a part of her personality, so that kind of explains somewhat of her demeanor. You know, she clearly has a mind of her own, if you saw the live chat too, and she said that the live chat even was her idea. So with that, cool. She wants to stand by her husband. She feels like he's worth it. She has that right. Now, as far as what he said, I understand and I completely applaud him taking accountability, because too many times we see dudes and they got this sob story about how they was raised and, you know, they broken home and the goldfish died and they never seen a marriage and all that. He didn't do that. He just took accountability. But I hope he understands that all the accountability in the world is not going to rebuild broken trust. Not on a personal level, and even with the public that he's addressing. Like, even his most loyal supporters at this point will probably have a raised eyebrow from this point forward whenever he wants to condemn another man for something like this, and rightfully so. So hopefully he understands that. And I also thought it was very intriguing how he brought in God at the end. You know, I don't really hear him speak like that. So, you know, do it God's way or else it's going to fail. Now, if I saw that a couple of years ago, I honestly would have called BS. I honestly would have been like, nah, dude, like, you can't use God as a scapegoat, you know, as if you not having Jesus is why you did what you did. Like, if Jesus was there with you when you was with those other women, Jesus would have zipped up your zipper for you. That's not how it worked. Like, who are you kidding? But now I have a relationship with God for myself, so I hear things a little bit differently. And what I heard whenever he said that was that, you know, when you go into a godly commitment, which marriage is supposed to be, you can't lean on your own understanding. You can't do it by yourself. You can't do it by your own willpower, your own good intentions and vows and love for a person. If you go into a godly commitment, you have to lean on God. You have to do things like to God's standard. You have to rely on God's grace. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it for the long term. And that I can personally relate to. Now, regardless, whether you like them, love them, or hate them, I think this is a great example as to why we don't need to be putting anybody on the pedestal. Nobody. And I think a lot of women did that. And I'm not even gonna say it's the women's fault by themselves, because this dude, he never really showed his struggle. You know, we understand, oh, we're all humans and we all make mistakes, but he never showed those mistakes, not for real. I think he wrote about it or something like that, but he never showed that side. So it's not really all on the women, but I've seen a lot of women put this dude on the pedestal to the point of idealizing him and even comparing their man to him. Like, they'll compare their man's good, bad, and ugly whole story to Derrick Jaxn's snippet. You know, which is, of course, a standard nobody can meet consistently. That's like a dude taking a picture of another woman who's in shape and she got a 4-pack and, you know, she just beautiful and all of that stuff and her body's just super tight, and him comparing his woman to that woman because his woman got a couple extra pounds from having a baby. Meanwhile, he don't know that woman in the picture may not even be able to have children. She may be struggling with that and coping with it by working out 2-3 times a day. She may have a...
Bro, what the fuck is you talking about? You may not even know that. You know what fuck. You know what Derrick Jaxn is? I hate saying this. Derrick Jaxn, if he was a rapper, he would be Eminem. And it's the thing that people criticize him for. M has bars, by the way. Y'all listening slow as fuck. M is spitting, okay? Now, when he's just being an MC, he's not telling a story. He's not the best. I mean, Stan was dope, but he hasn't given us a Stan in a while. He's not the best storyteller. That shit with his mom was, you know what I'm saying? It was cool to see him get reconciliation and shit like that. And he told the story the way that he knows how. But when M is being an MC,
he's just pulling shit and throwing it together into a blender and, you know what I'm saying, making a Basquiat. Like it he has bars and wordplay and, you know what I'm saying, quintuple entendres and shit like that. It that's dope as fuck. But you know what I'm saying? Like this guy, like dude is just grabbing at whatever he can. It's like she might. You know what I'm saying? It's like this woman's like, she's bad as fuck, but what you don't know is that she might not even be able to have kids. Like, what? Like, it's so like this was a meltdown. I feel like because he's still trying to come from somewhat of a place of authority when he's been knocked off the high horse. It's not being a humbling. Like internally he hasn't been humbled. Publicly he was humbled, but internally is like he's still not accepting the fact that he was in the wrong, and he's still trying to come from a moral high ground. Just go away for a little bit, let things blow over as they do, because the internet is high school, and carry on, good sir. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like we need to allow him to carry on. And I hate this to another black man, but it's only because it's to the detriment of our black women. You know what I'm saying? Brother's been warning black women about this gentleman for years, but you know what I'm saying? His physique is what it is, and women listen to muscles more. That muscles over logic. You know what I'm saying? Physique over logic. If you got the right body type, a woman will do whatever you say. This was just what it is. But the fantasy is that there's a perfect man out there. But I'm gonna let him finish. I'm gonna let you finish, okay? But one more time, Jaron.
What the fuck is you talking about? What the fuck is you talking about? What the fuck is you talking about?
This is Jaron Benton, everybody. Phenomenal rapper. Look him up. Phenomenal rapper. Yeah.
Unhealthy.
Let's go back a couple because we need to go back on that.
Fans, good, bad, and ugly, whole story to Derrick Jaxn's snippet. You know, which is, of course, a standard nobody can meet consistently. That's like a dude taking a picture of another woman who's in shape and she got a 4-pack and, you know, she just beautiful and all of that stuff and her body's just super tight, and him comparing his woman to that woman because his woman got a couple extra pounds from having a baby. Meanwhile, he don't know that woman in the picture may not even be able to have children. She may be struggling with that and coping with it by working out 2-3 times a day. She may have an unhealthy body image, and that's why she works out obsessively and consistently and looks so good. Like, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's wise to ever idealize somebody or compare them. Like, not only because somebody can be living a double life, which I don't think is quite the case here, according to his wife, behind the scenes, without anybody knowing. And of course, this part ain't gonna blow up, but he's been putting in the work to kind of reconstruct what all had been broken since last year. So I don't think it's a double life thing, but you don't know what struggle somebody has behind the scenes. You don't know their shortcomings. You don't know where they're falling short. So it's just not wise to compare, you know, on any level. Nonetheless, I know some people will see this type of video, even though he's come forward and he's been completely honest. Some people are just going to close the book on D. Some people are going to close the book on this dude and say, you know what? I'm done with you. Cancel culture. Come here. I'm more so on the side of his wife and just basically letting this be a new chapter of how I see him, because I do believe that his content over the years has helped a tremendous amount of people. You know, he tells the truth. He speaks facts. And quite honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all, I've needed several new chapters in my own life. Lord knows.
Quicker than that. You better be quicker than that.
Yeah. That's some other shit, yo. Like, like the reference to him as a third person, you can't detach yourself from the scenario to make it better. You have to stand in it and stand on it. Like, if you really with God, we got to see you with God. I need to see, you know what I'm saying, you walk with Jesus. You not just gonna tell us and then, you know what I'm saying? You got a road up ahead of you. That's just, it's gonna be a process. Listen, everybody knows. Trust, easiest thing to lose, hardest thing to get back. All right. However, is this type of man deserving of trust? Because the first thing that he decided to do was promote this book. We're gonna get to the book. But, you know, he was posting these videos on his IG. I saw his IG. He has 1.3 million followers, mostly female. Let's go to it. All right. I usually don't do this because I don't really care. I'm not followed to the nigga. I don't care about, like, his marriage. Like, it's sad that, you know what I'm saying, this is a black marriage and this is happening publicly in front of the entire world, but that was his choice. So, Mr. Derrick Jaxn with his 1.3 million followers, his, and, you know what I'm saying, as an artist on my IG, OMNIETC, you know what I'm saying, it's coming up down there every time I switch back to the main view. But the link that he has, like I do on my IG for my music, he has it for his product. And what's his product that he's slinging? Healed Together. His Healed Together book, early access, which means it's on pre-order, for $5, $4.97. Okay, which means when it comes out, it's gonna be $9.99. All right, and it's Healed Together. How him and I guess it's him and his wife's journey. But this was the book. I shit you not. This was the book that he was parading in his first apology video. His very first video, as I said on the last cast, he was in a library or office setting, and he decided to get into it, but he didn't get into the meat of what it was directly. He didn't get into the meat of it right away. But he did hold up the book. He held up a physical copy of the book and was like, this is my book, this is my journey, this is my testimony of when I, because the actual timeline, we're not 100% sure on. I mean, Tasha K right now is doing a damn good job. I think another woman came forward and said that she was with Derrick last week. So we gonna, anyway, I don't know if that's true or at this point, like with the T.I. Tiny situation, we got clout chasing people that are fabricating stories just to be a part of the upswing, which is ridiculous. Just go with the truth anyway, or just pick apart the details of the truth. So the reason why that this is detrimental, especially to the black community, this makes black women look bad, yo. Like, for years, people have been saying black women are the most gullible. They'll fall for anything. You know, this isn't, the idea that black women are ruled by their clitoris. I mean, oh shoot. There we go. He's not a bad looking brother. You know what I'm saying? Fits nice. And, you know what I'm saying? That's not even like this isn't even like one of his swole pictures. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, attractive black man, as is, you know what I'm saying, as the most, as a heterosexual male I can give as a compliment on a man's appearance. But attractive black man. You know what I'm saying? Has 1.3 million followers, mostly female. It's not a hard equation to put together. And he says everything that they want to hear. Everything that black women want to hear about a perfect man. That's why it's so duality. That's why a lot of his content is a lot of duality in his content. Because there's duality in women's thoughts. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to be ashamed of, but it's just men have to bring women down to earth. And on occasion, show them what's real. Tried to do it with Derrick Jaxn. I didn't care enough to preach to sisters back then. You know what I'm saying? Yo, bro, it's a fucking nigga for real. And just like now, I don't care enough because I'm trying to figure out life, as always. But it's just a shame that it's gotten to this point, it's been exposed, and now in front of everybody, he's seen as a fraud. Now, chances are he could actually be doing the work. And, you know, this is his bread and butter. So his wife had to support him because she eats off of this. Like, that's the cold part of this game. The cold part of the shit that the life that he architect. Like, if she leaves him, then it takes food out of her baby's mouths. Because he can no longer be a relationship coach, and that's his entire brand. He's not a diverse individual. He's an author and whatnot, but the foundation of all of those things is the fact that he is one thing. So, you know what I'm saying? That's how cold the game is. Like, she might not even want to stay, but for the sake of her babies, he is the breadwinner. At least it appears that way. She might be an astrophysicist for all we know. But, you know what I'm saying? She has to stay in it for the sake of her children because her children eat off of, you know what I'm saying, all of his content. But if all of his content is based in what people feel to be true. And this is why in my last cast I said, yo, we shouldn't really be like so invested in other people that when they have put up this facade when that facade fades or shatters, as they tend to do when you put up that fake shit, you can't keep it up forever. I don't know why people try. But when that goes away, and that's how you've been, that's the foundation of your income, it causes you to move in desperate ways, which is why we had all of those weird videos, including that reaction video that we just saw. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, I implore you to understand. There's no such thing as a perfect man. There's no such thing as a perfect man. This world is about trade-offs and compromises. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people, I will say that, you know what I'm saying, I will always implore brothers to step their game up. You know what I'm saying? As I am stepping my game up. Just registered for an LLC, owning stock, you know what I'm saying, real estate. Real estate game gets tricky because there's so many plays to be made in it, and I'm like looking at every single one. I don't want to jump into real estate just yet because I don't know how the housing market is going to survive when that bill is due on all of the back rent. Like, I know we have like over a year of back rent at this point for some people to catch up on. I know people were doing other things, probably being irresponsible with their money, as people tend to be. You know what I'm saying? It's theirs. They can be irresponsible with it. It's theirs. Ain't none of mine, so I ain't got no say in it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if right now is the time to jump into real estate. So I've been playing around with stocks and cryptocurrencies. That's my thing. I've been looking at all of those platforms. I've been looking at this cryptocurrency platform where you just put the money in and it pays you more of it every month, like a dividend. You know what I'm saying? I really dig the dividends. I'm about to be making some option plays soon, but it's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is, I don't know if the brother is invested in stock. I don't know if he, you know what I'm saying, has other assets or has made other investments, or if, you know what I'm saying, his brand is his primary investment and concern. If that's the case, it would explain everything that we've seen in the last few days. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're holding Derrick Jaxn accountable. I like to see that. However, are we holding the sisters accountable? And I know what y'all gonna hit me with. But they didn't take an oath, or they didn't, you know what I'm saying, they didn't say any vows and this, that, and the third, but they still knew that the man was married and they proceeded. They proceeded. Are we going to hold the women accountable in the situation at some point? I like to see that we're holding Derrick Jaxn accountable, because he needs to be. He's done, but by holding that perfect image of what black women feel, the contradictions that a black woman feels black men need to be, like those self-contradicting ways that are bound to cause issues, drama. By holding those up, it's made women, and I remember Derrick Jaxn's content from a while ago, so you could arguably say a generation of women. At least I've seen them at least with, like, throughout the past, I want to say, okay, so not a generation, but half a decade at least. It's been at least 5 years. At times, I'd probably say like 7 or 6, but definitely around 5. So it's 5 years of this man spewing this rhetoric, this anti-male, anti-black man rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? Dogging out your brothers. And this is the thing, and this is why I want to build and promote this platform on truth, as I do everything, even in my music. It's because the truth is the truth, no matter who says it. Okay? And I'm not coming from a place of knowing the truth. This is for us to have the discussion so we can find the truth together. So as long as I come from that, I feel as though I'll be the most successful, because I'm exploring just like you're exploring. But I'm just saying we can get further together. You know what I'm saying? So with this idea of a perfect man, women have waited for the past 5 years for the man that doesn't exist. And let Kevin, you know what I'm saying, men like Kevin Samuels tell it, he's been waiting even longer. So, you know, what women feel a black man should be, she wants a strong, weak man. A thugged out, sensitive cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Derrick Jaxn very much is the pimp of simping. That would probably be the best. That would probably be the best way to explain his whole brand. He's the pimp of simping. You know what I'm saying? He used the funds that he got from telling women all of that shit that they wanted to hear, and making himself seem like he was the perfect man and the perfect man was achievable. just to take those funds and do all of that bullshit. Hey, man. Hey. And look, I'm not, as I said earlier, men are polygynous in nature. Men are attracted to variations of the opposite sex. It's not just, you know what I'm saying, one uh one specific person. Like men can't and will I don't think men will ever be capable of being attracted to just one individual person. Okay, but when a woman asks for a monogamous relationship, she's asking for a monogamous relationship in the hopes that he will stop being attracted to other women. That's never the case. Of course, he's attracted to other women. He just found value in you and being with you for whatever reason. Okay, that's a different show. I don't do that over here. All right, I switch in and out of a lot of lanes, but you know what I'm saying. I know me, and that's not my show. That's not what we're doing over here. Is like I don't have a rating system or any of that. And we're not doing that over here. We're just looking at facts. So, you know, there's no such thing as a perfect man. Women, there's no such thing as a perfect man. He doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? The sensitive thug. All right? The strong, weak Negro. All right? He doesn't exist. If you want a man of character, a man of strength, a man of integrity, that comes with, if you're going to be his right hand, is going to come with a lot of accountability on your part. That's it. And then if you want this alpha individual, you know what I'm saying? A man that has made his bones in the world and makes a lot of money. You're asking a lot of him to only be with you. It is what it is. He's supposed to pay your way for everything because that's why you want a man with a lot of resources. So he's supposed to pay your way for everything. You're not supposed to do anything to reciprocate that energy. And he's supposed to lower his or increase his inhibitions magically somehow to only deal with you. A liability, not an asset. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, so the problem with that is just like OnlyFans. I said this to a cosplayer the other night. I'm not mad that OnlyFans is a platform. I'm not mad at the female. I salute the females getting that grind on OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's money to be made in what they're doing. Never hate the player, hate the game. There would not be women doing what they're doing on OnlyFans if there wasn't a market for it. It's the same thing with Derrick Jaxn. There would not be a chocolate man to tell, a big, strong chocolate man to tell women what they wanted to hear with their shirts off, with his shirt off, if there wasn't a market for it. So when people say the black woman is gullible, it's embarrassing situations like this, where, you know what I'm saying, en masse, you get proven wrong. and black men, not me personally, but black men in general, have tried to have this conversation about Derrick Jaxn for years. And it's, oh, you're hating, and oh, da 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 da. No, it's not hate. It's the truth, but you just don't like the truth because you don't like to be held accountable. Because with accountability comes change. And in order to enact change, it takes work. But the whole point of having a man with a lot of money is so you never have to work again. That's literally how far women have thought it through, of having a man with a lot of money. They don't understand the things that coincide with having a true hustler, a true go-get-it motherfucker. Like, they don't understand what goes through his head and what is required of them on their part. They just see the perks. It's just like anything else. You see the perks, but are you willing to put in the work for what it is that you want? I never knock what people want. I knock the fact that they want, but they don't want to put in the work to get what they want. It doesn't make sense. I don't want a daggone thing I don't see a path for. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in a lane where I don't see an end game or an end point. So, let me know what you think in the comments below. Is there a perfect man out there, and have you met him? Have you found him? Ladies, fellas. Also, I'm not beating up on women. I hold men accountable too. Everybody gets a turn, as far as I'm concerned. And I went into this, like, I'm starting my journey into this media game, understanding that everybody at some point gets a turn. But if I stand on the truth, who could stand against me? Wary observations, righteous discussions. It's the Word Up Podcast, and I have been your host, OMNIETC, Omni, etc. All right. Word. Peace, love, health, wealth to you all. I'm out.